Thanks for staying with us. So today is the commencement of the ruling party APC's presidential primaries. It's expected to be a keenly contested primary, and just one person is going to emerge as the party's flag bearer come 2023 presidential elections. Joining us on this segment is a member of the Election Management Subcommittee Presidential Primary and also a legal practitioner by profession, Honorable Daniel Bwala. Welcome to the show, sir. Are you there?
I'm here. Thank you for having me. And good morning to everyone.
Nigerians are waiting. In fact, everybody is waiting for the end of today to finally know who the APC flag bearer for the presidential elections coming 2023. Now, there are so many factors being considered, and I'd like you to share your own thoughts on this. The president is insisting on the consensus. Others are saying, let us have a purely democratic process where we go to the delegates to select who they want to be the flag bearer. In your view, what's the best approach, and what do you think will be, who do you think would emerge at the end of today?
Right. So thank you for having me. First of all, maybe a little bit of clarification. The election itself isn't holding today. It's going to be tomorrow. People are arriving today, and some things are being put in place. Now, and again, the president, I believe his statement or reports coming from Bwala may have been communicated incorrectly to the Nigerian people. The president is in no way insisting that a consensus candidate be imposed. The president is of the opinion that, having regard to the number of aspirants that we've got, it is be nice to arrive at a consensus candidate. And the procedure he is encouraging for arriving at a consensus candidate is not by means of imposition. Take, for example, the South. The governors in the North have agreed and suggested to the president that their resolution is that power should go there. The president concurred with that idea, but now advised the Southern aspirants to go, have a conversation, arrive at a consensus. That is a tall order to begin with. I think that, and I think I've been talking that for a while now, that the best option at this time is to go for the delegate election. And the reason is because we are in a new election cycle in our party. It is not the president seeking a re-election. Secondly, like in football or in basketball, you determine your strategy by looking at the possible strategy of your opponent. The candidate of PDP is already revealed. It's Atiku Abubakar. He is not a newcomer. He is not starting the politics now. Has been in politics and looking for this position for close to 30 years or 20-something years, since 1992. He has participated in all elections in the sense of whether with the as an opposition or after we won the election in 2015, was in government briefly before he left for his own. So he's familiar with the terrain. He seemed to be a prepared person because in 2019, it was evident that the president, even with the support of all stakeholders of our party, we were only able to defeat him with a little over 2 million votes. Having regard to the opposition, it is imperative that APC as a party should look inward and look at the candidate that has the capacity to challenge him and defeat him. And the president made clear in his statement, the criteria for the choice of a consensus candidate should be one, a candidate that is popular with the party throughout the federation. That is a candidate that is attractive enough for the party to work for him. And number two, should be a candidate with capacity to win election for us. Now, if you are a member of APC, there are certain things you cannot deny. You can only argue, but you can't deny. That if you are looking at a candidate in our party who has that capacity, who has a reach, I say a candidate that operates like MTN, where his reach is everywhere in the country. I don't think it is something you will debate for more than 2 minutes to arrive at a conclusion that it is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I am from the north. I'm from Borno State. There is no part of the north that I know you will go to. You will not find community of APC members canvassing for Asiwaju. And not because he just emerged, because he has been involved in the creation of structures of the party and in the sustenance of the structure. When we go to the election, it is this delegate and people at local level that will vote, that will encourage people to vote, that will seek to protect your vote. If they don't know you, or they don't know you enough as someone who has invested in the party, they are vulnerable to the opponent. They can be bought over by the opponent. Some may not even have the energy and the enthusiasm to work for you. So the first criteria of the president, the person that puts the bill amongst the aspirants, is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The second criteria that the president said in his speech, the person that will win election for us. So look at the aspirants that we've got and look at their antecedents and their history and trajectory. Who amongst them is one candidate that can point at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 10 things to say, I have achieved over a period of time that forms the credential that I will win election for us. Asiwaju started this journey from the Southwest, was able to maintain dominance of the party, in successive.
Okay, let me get a few more questions.
Let me ask this question because all this we can analyze from now till tomorrow. By tomorrow evening, all of us will know who the presidential candidate would be, and it would only be one person. My question is it possible that regardless of who comes out, the party, from the party you see right now, can they rally around one person? Because we've heard so many things being said in the past few days. Do you believe that the party can rally around one person without anybody feeling like my desire did not, my ambition didn't come to pass, and I'm not going to be willing to push ahead with this?
Good question. So then that depends on who the candidate is. Because the outcome, my belief, is that one way or the other will result in displeasure, and probably there are members or aspirants who will feel that they will not be a part of this process. It's natural when you have more than 5 interests that have developed over a period of time, and they don't meet their end, that they may be discouraged. So you should look to the candidate that if such a thing happened, he has the capacity to the party. You could see in PDP, when Atiku won the election, rather than dividing the party along lines, he was going to the aspirants that lost the primaries. He's trying to build consensus, galvanize support. So in APC, the only candidate that when he emerges, if we have a fallout of these things that you've raised, has the capacity to unite them together is Asiwaju, and I will explain why. Because virtually every single member, a stakeholder of our party, his own story or her own story is not complete until Asiwaju is mentioned. There must be a time in your political journey where he has had to help you one way or the other. And so you will look at that when you want to get angry and walk away, and then decide that gathering a consensus or galvanizing support around such a person will promise hope for the party.
Okay.
If the party,
Yes, so, politics can be very funny. And I would like to ask you this question because we remember what happened during the PDP the primaries for the PDP. There was a last-minute realignment. Do you foresee that sort of thing happening in the APC? Or are you certain that everybody can pull and support one person?
No, definitely there will be alignment and realignment. So we have 15 active aspirants. They have been asked to step down. So you are going to find that what I call the lightweight aspirants, they probably, who knows, they may have been engaged in a conversation to step down for one candidate or the other. If you look at the candidates, some of us who are in the party will know that serious contenders are not more than 4 or 5. But even amongst the serious contenders, we have between now up until tomorrow morning, when you will hear major announcement of somebody saying, I'm stepping down for this or stepping down for another.
Honorable Bwala, let me pause you for a second because there are some really important factors. Yahaya Bello is a factor because he's young. He's coming quite strong, especially because he's from the north, and which we have an opposition party fielding a northern candidate. Do you think Yahaya Bello is a stronger contender for this in the APC, number one? Number two, the vice president is also a factor because many people feel like he's also somebody that is young, he can appeal to the, he's worked in the economy, he's somebody that a lot of young people might want to vote for. Do you think these are factors that might actually be making it an issue for us to arrive at a consensus within the party?
So let me start by saying that Governor Yahaya Bello is a friend and is somebody whom I love, I support over the years. even in his presidential bid. I wish him the best. But I do not think that age is a factor at the moment. It's if you are in Nigeria now, if you're under an insecure environment, you wouldn't mind if your neighbor is Igbo, Yoruba, or Hausa. If that neighbor will add to the security of that environment, you will love it. I know that there are talking points, and people generate that. Narratives built here and there. An average Nigerian, when the chip is down, is looking for somebody that will provide enabling environment for him to thrive in life. So in APC, Yaya Bello from the North Central, I think, in my view, I may be wrong, that the position he has taken and the way he managed his campaign to this point may help in providing the opportunity for him to be a vice presidential candidate in case a candidate emerges from the South. But you never know, because if the Southwest candidates and Southwest and South aspirants fail to galvanize around a strong person, and then you go into the election, you will find that somebody who is standing alone from a geopolitical zone is likely to harvest the delegates more, except if a candidate from the South, for example, like Asiwaju, who has built a national structure, that it will become difficult for you to defeat it. Otherwise, it's easier for an aspirant that is from a zone where there are less competition to pull through. But if you look at the party, basically, there are three people in the race, in my view. Asiwaju, the rest, and the dark horse. What I mean by the dark horse is who the president, as people are alleging, has in mind. But Asiwaju is an institution that is already on ground. So the election, in my view, is between Asiwaju and the president. Okay. Because Asiwaju, there is nobody in our party who does not know Asiwaju is ready.
All right, let me pause. I have very few minutes left. Okay. Honorable Daniel.
Let me even throw in another factor. So they talk about how powerful governors are, and we have 22 APC governors. We have a few of them that have shown interest in running. They have alliances and allegiances. How would that play, and affect the dark horse, Asiwaju, and others?
So, from what I'm saying, if the president had a particular candidate in mind, with the series of meetings between day before yesterday and yesterday, the president would have been compelled to point at someone. I can tell you categorically, the president does not have a specific person, the party to arrive at someone that he will endorse. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened, number one. There is an element, there is Senator Ahmed Lawal. He emerged lately. So the belief that people have, and you will hear people conversing, is that if the Southwest and South-South are not able to pull up a consensus around a person, because the North has the highest number of delegates, if politics of ethnicity, regionalism comes, for example, that Ahmed Lawal is likely to emerge as a candidate. But it remains to be seen whether the capacity that Asiwaju has developed, it is easy for somebody to crack up that place.
That's an interesting angle, because ethnicity can't play a card. So if we go to the elections, a lot of factors definitely will be in play. The ethnicity, as you said, money also will be at play here, because we saw it in the PDP where money was changing hands. So the richest amongst these contenders can also pay the delegates. So these are other factors that might affect the election. So you're saying that a consensus would probably be preferable for us to go into the elections of the delegates. What do you think in your view?
I have never subscribed to the idea of consensus, because consensus can arrive at someone who is weak. But delegate election means you are testing the popularity of the person before the main election. And if the delegate election takes place, it's a matter of waiting to do the coronation ceremony for Asiwaju. Nobody can come close to him. I'm just speaking facts.
Okay, so I'm a bit concerned because of what you say, and your words confirm a lot of rumors that the consensus candidate from the president's side might not be Asiwaju, because you just mentioned that there is Asiwaju and then there's the president's preferred candidate and there's others. So it's why would you insinuate that? Because it looks like they're always having meetings, they're eating together, everything is at peace, and some people just assume that it's the gossips around that is creating a breach where there is no breach.
Let me tell you, when I say Asuwaju and the rest, it is not suggestive by any means that Asuwaju is not, that may not be the consensus candidate. It may well be that Asuwaju is the consensus candidate. You see, you have to study the psychology of the president. I think that the reason why the president is very careful in not giving by either body language or anything that he's supportive of Asuwaju is because the president is a Muslim. Asuwaju is a Muslim. If the president should begin to indicate by body language that he's supporting Asuwaju, the Nigerian people may take it that it is an exchange from one Muslim to another. So he's
let me just throw in one last
We have to go. We don't have any time.
Oh, some people are saying they don't want PDP.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take. We cannot take any more questions. We've run out of time. Thank you very much, Honorable Daniel, for joining us this morning. We appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
Wait till tomorrow and hear the results from the APC. That's all we can take. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.